Okay, hey guys, so we are watching The Terminator. This is from 1984. It was recently re-added to Hulu, so I'm going to be watching it on that platform, and as such, this is going to be a Hulu commentary track. I assume you guys have seen this movie before. You probably enjoy it, as do I, and having seen it several times and being something of a Terminator aficionado, I felt it my duty to give my say to the internet because why the hell not? And with that said, cue up The Terminator on Hulu, take it down to 000, and if you want to have this commentary track in sync with your viewing, hit play now. So an unusual start here. We got this this tiger thing going. Yeah, this honestly, I don't really care for the current MGM production logo. I do like that those laurels around that mask have finally been fixed so that it's not looking bizarre. Now we have the Orion Pictures logo. This was brought back, I think, a couple years ago. They started issuing that back out on some films, but that was a sign of quality. That was, hey, we're doing better than Canon over here. We got some competent people working on this. Los Angeles 2029 AD. The AD is important. Okay, so I know that, and I'm having a cheese stick, Sargento, mozzarella. So much to talk about here. The miniatures look pretty damn good, honestly. You see far worse stuff in the 70s. It gives you this sense of scale in a way that you can't tell how small the miniatures actually are here, which is always what you want. Explosions. We don't get real explosions in Marvel films. Ominous skulls everywhere. You gotta wonder, did they go out of their way to pave these roads with skulls? Okay, so we got some text. The machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. Their war to exterminate mankind had raged for decades, but the final battle would not be fought in the future. It would be fought here, in our present, tonight. Ellipses. Title right here. The word the Terminator sliding together like this, I think it took inspiration from this movie where Drew Barrymore was a baby. It was her first movie. Altered States. Yeah, that's it. Of course, we're going through the cast. This is a fanciful start. I mean, in 1984, and you got a title sequence like this on a budget where James Cameron has remarked that Arnold Schwarzenegger had a trailer that cost more on the set of Terminator 2 than this movie did. Which I find kind of hard to believe, because how amazing was that trailer? I think this might have been like a $4 million budget. Special Terminator effects created by Stan Winston. I think this is also the movie that really put Stan Winston on the map, as he starts to get this credit for being such a creature creator with the Terminator, and then he's on a plane having a chat with James Cameron, who says, I always want to see a creature with mandibles, and that's how he was able to redesign the Predator, and now that's iconic as well, right? There we go, the Terminator. Oh, gotta grab my Mountain Dew. There we go. This is a movie that got cleaned up quite a bit in the digital process here. A lot of these lower budget films, they kind of get pushed to the wayside, but this one got some funding from the government. It's in the film registry. So now essentially the government is helping restore it and stuff. And so this is a cleaner look than you may be used to. If you'd seen this on TV back in the day, it looks so grimy, a dirty picture. been maybe 2 years since I've watched this. And then every time a movie I hadn't seen in a while, I'm like, really? It's been that long since I watched it? I felt like I was watching these movies all the damn time. All right, here we are, Naked Arnold. This will be the first commentary track I do in which there is nudity. So, if that's something you don't want to hear about, what can I do for you? Arnold Schwarzenegger scanning the environment with his eyes. He looks very synthetic right there. The moisture on him. He seems kind of doll-like, doesn't he? Not human, right? Peers out over the skyscraperous land of Los Angeles. So many shots are well thought out here. It's not just simple walk to the left and then cut to, the nothingness below with some lights. It's crane up. Oh, there's Arnold Dong. Oh, you can't unsee it. We got these three punks snickering. The one on the far right goes on to be Shao Kahn. No, wait, am I saying that right? Shao Kahn? Khan, in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Terrible shit movie. There's, of course, Bill Paxton, who appears to have something over his teeth to give him the sense of a gap. Also has this weird tire mark tattoo, which I've always, people have referred to as a tattoo. I kind of thought of it as makeup. They go for the stab here, and then a punch in the chest, lift, and I never got the sense that he pulled his heart out and it's still beating in his hand, but people will say that's what they saw here. I didn't see Arnold really holding anything. I didn't see a heart beating, and the shot didn't linger on it. Now we are on the streets of Los Angeles. It says here, man, hey, sugar, how about it? We got our homeless guy. Lightning effects. Now, Michael Biehn has said that was a stunt double that took that fall right there on concrete, sideways, naked fall on the ground. How much do you pay a stuntman to do that? Me? Not enough. Michael Biehn, you can see he's got some burn applications on him. Looks pretty good. He's had a rough, beaten life. Now, take note here. Michael Biehn is really lean. And in Terminator Genesis, that Australian kid they found to play the Kyle Reese role, he's like buffed out, like you've had time to lift in the post-apocalyptic world fighting the machines, which I have to also question how they even have uniforms. Do they actually have people tailoring up a uniform? Hey, buddy, did you see a real bright light? I like that line. Now, what did he do so quick to this guy? Like, give him a good punch and this rip his pants off? So he had some pants underneath him? I don't know. But these pants he's got, they're kind of like rugby pants, joggers. I've done a Kyle Reese kind of cosplay thing for Halloween because I've got the shoes and I was able to get the jacket, but I didn't paint up the pants to make them all hobo-y, still making them kind of versatile. All right, now here's the interesting part. This cop, he gets the drop on him any second, right? And Kyle Reese is like, what day is it? What year? And listen to this guy's voice. There's gunfire. What? Now he has to run off because cops are coming. 12, hey, Thursday. The thing about that line is, in the trailer for this, which I recently viewed on the YouTubes, not the same voice from that cop. Now, I never got the sense that was some kind of ADR, and clearly, if you listen to these two voices, it's not the same person. So I don't know who we're actually hearing here. I'm assuming the trailer had the actual actor. But he was very scared, very wimpy. May 12th, Tuesday. And that's, a little something you don't hear from other commentators, now is it? So we're going through the store. We grab our Vietnam-era jacket. By the way, those have a lining in them that you definitely need to take out because they get hot. I like the way he sized up these shoes. Just in a bin, Nike Vandal High. Boom. Now that is an iconic way to show some sneakers. My shoes differentiate a little bit. The ones they made for Terminator Genesis to match this film, they actually had the costume department people said, look, Nike, you got to remake these shoes for us. Like Nike was like, hey, look, we can make you some Air Force Ones that look like the Vandal, but we just don't make the Vandal anymore. And they're like, hey, not good enough. We really need those Vandal. Okay, fine. They caved. They had a few left over that they issued through Nike Lab. I got the very last pair. The key difference between them is that the ones Kyle Reese is running around with have a tiny little layer of black on the undersole that hits the ground that makes contact. It's almost unnoticeable. Mine do not. I kind of like it all white, but they do get very dirty underneath. So every once in a while I have to brush them up. I like the way he got away from the cops. He's playing it cool. He took the shotgun. Some people have suggested that the cops are en route to the emergency in which Arnold roughed up the hoodlums. I'm not so sure about that. Now, we quickly go into our mission mode here. Kyle Reese is looking through the phone book. He's looking for a Sarah Connor. He has a better idea of which Sarah Connor. There's a few Sarah Connors in Los Angeles, and now total tone shift. Bright, kind of positive music. Little weird, isn't it? We just had some grisly shit go down. We saw this pictures of skulls and robots in the future, and now here's a gal going to work at a burger chain. She has a moped. She locks it up. Guard it for me, Big Buns. That's a line that says, hey, wholesome average girl. That's what it says, without her walking around telling people how she's a wholesome average girl. Right? There we go, Sarah Connor. Did that say 19th? I thought he said 12. Maybe the cop had the wrong day. All right, so they put a pole in Arnold's coat there so that he could break that. That's the word on the street. Honestly, I don't see the pole. And I could think that if Arnold were so inclined, he could probably punch a window out. Would he break his hand? I'm not totally sure. That Arnold, then? Maybe not. Juggling all these tables, working the restaurant. Oh, sorry about that. Ugh. What's this kid doing? And what is that he put down her apron? Was it mashed potato or ice cream? Ammo, sports, guns. That sign still exists. The same shapes, but different words there as different things have gone into the plaza. Here's Dick Miller. I believe he is still alive as of this recording. Probably in his 90s. 45 alongside. Just got that in today. Can't miss. That 45 is the biggest handgun you could get at the time. This is prior to the Desert Eagle. I think the Desert Eagle may have came out just after this. And you see Arnold running around for Desert Eagle, Last Action Hero. Now, Desert Eagle 50 Action Express, maybe not until the 90s. Wrong. We have different approach to weaponry here. Now we have Kyle Reese. He's walking around. He's got the concealed carry version here. The sawed-off shotgun. The street traffic of Los Angeles. How does he know the rules of this world? Like, where he's from, his whole life has been so different. How does he know, not to be totally freaked out by traffic lights? I mean, for all I know, right? I like how he threw this guy out of the way, and this big dude isn't like, hey, now I have to fight. It would have worked out really bad for that guy. But he's just like, you got an attitude problem, you know? Some would call this foreshadowing, as we have a truck here. Cab over design getting crunched. The semi-truck at the end of this movie doesn't get crunched by anything. It gets exploded, so I wouldn't call that foreshadowing. Arnold Schwarzenegger in punk attire. Now we're really getting sent the message of what it is he's here for. Sarah Connor. Yes. Boom, restore up. And how old does this lady look? 45, 50. Supposedly she's like 26. Shot in the head and a few more shots, just to be sure. I shit you not, as frightening as that was, nowadays that'd be PG-13. They'd play some goofy music over it, and because you didn't see the blood exit through her head, they would call that no different than the Joker shotgunning the face of a police officer. But because they cut before the blast, boom, PG-13. That's how they do shit now, right? Kind of wondering what Reese is waiting for here. He has the address, right? So he's tailing her. He mentions that he's waiting for the Terminator to make a move on her. So that it's really quite brilliant if you think about it. He's going to come across as a total creep if he says, hey, you have to listen to me. You have to come with me. There's someone trying to kill you. Hey, get this creep away from me. He goes to the police, right? That would be your first thought is, hey, get in there and tell her the situation, because the Terminator's coming after her. Now look at the shift here. You thought you were seeing the tracks of the heavy equipment, but those tracks were always actually the tracks in the future, and that's what it reminded him of, and it brings in this dream sequence. It's really quite cool. I don't suppose the dream sequence here is necessary for the film, but, I don't mind it. You got some sweet music. Brad Fiedel really brings it with the score, completely composed in a garage. Not that location matters so much, especially when it did back in the day when everybody assumed studio was needed. So we're seeing a little bit of what the life is like in the future, though I guess we got a peek at it earlier, but not from a soldier's perspective so much. But now we're seeing that. If you're going to bring in a sequence like this, it has to add something to the film or its world, right? We got flying shit. We got rear projection back there that actually looks amazing. It'd be so hard to move across that debris. Gotta wonder if that shot was recycled, jumping over that. If we'd just seen that already. I like these grenades. Like, the weapons are all weird and different. You know, it's the future, right? This chick, gone. Did they need to throw 2 grenades? That's the question. Yeah, hop in the car. Nope, I'm driving. You take gun. You were driving. You think I'm jumping the gun? Not so fast. Doesn't this just seem to have something at stake and make it scary? Like, this is a frightening vision of the future. And in Genesis, when you see the T-800 driving the truck, and it's like the decoy T-800, they're driving the truck to Skynet. It looks goofy. Yeah, he kind of like wakes up, cocks the shotgun. That's how when I drift off, like in a college class, and like I like drift off because shit's boring. It's like, why am I wasting my talents here? And then I just kind of like spring into action, like yeah. There's a lot of songs in this movie. People don't realize so much. Is it Tawny Katane and the Triangles have like 3 songs in here. This gal, I think she was she kind of became something of an aerobics type infomercial celebrity. She's listened to this song. I think is that a Triangles thing, but she has a song later on that I find kind of catchy. Now we're getting a call here, and this is I'm trying to remember is it Cougar from Top Gun? I think so. How do you guys feel about the name Ginger? Not so sure what to make of that. Sarah Connor laughing. Not something you see a lot in Terminator 2. Ginger has to have her Walkman, like at all times. I like the way how we're getting into the police department. We don't have an exterior shot of the police department. We have this guy thrown up against the glass, and then we peel away. We pan back a bit, and we see, okay, police station. Here's the ongoing stuff. We got Paul Winfield on the right, Lance Henriksen on the left. At a certain point in this film, it kind of seems like these are going to be like leadish type guys. Like, okay, now is the movie turning over into the police are investigating film? Okay, so we have somebody going after these Sarah Connors. But it never really becomes the case where, hey, this is Murtaugh and Riggs, and these are going to be the guys that stop the thing, you know. But if you never saw this before, you could think that, oh well, it's an '80s movie. They're the cops. Yeah, okay. Now that they're on the case, one of them is going to be what destroys it. Not even close. Okay, so Sarah Connor is set to go on a date. Got some iguana. Sarah's mom left a answer on the answering machine. People don't even so much like getting voicemail anymore, so I wonder if this holds up for the younger crowd. She's got some date with a guy who has a Porsche, and he's bailed on her. And that changes the future. He can't treat you like this. It's Friday night, for Christ's sake. Not Friday night. All dressed up and nowhere to go. Man, that haircut. Oh, that Sarah Connor 1984 haircut. That is a rough one, isn't it, guys? Bumps into Matt. but you wouldn't, given what we've seen so far, it's a bit of a jump scare. Not quite. It doesn't hit you with today's jump scare, sudden impact sound, but you know somebody's after, right? All right, is that Kyle Reese looking over there? Is Kyle Reese keeping an eye on her? We got the Terminator theme. Could something be going down here? Yeah, I like this guy's method, man. If you're gonna make a move on the girl, wait until someone tries to kill her. Then give her the come with me if you want to live. That's the way in, dudes. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, you guys couldn't wait for a press conference? I don't think they allow smoking in the precinct anymore. Just an assumption here. They keep getting the answering machine, but I don't think they left a message on the machine. Because she just checked her machine. It didn't say anything about the police, right? Oh, now are they going to bother with giving a message, right? So as they're calling, now they're getting in this situation. She's hooking up, but she has to listen to her tunes. Yeah, police, do your job and leave a message. Don't just be like, oh, it's the machine. We'll call back. Time to smoke. Screw leaving a message. I'm Lance Henriksen. Now, of course, Lance Henriksen was in James Cameron's first film, if you want to call it that. It was one he didn't finish so much, but Piranha 2, The Spawning, not a good movie. But James Cameron says it's the best flying piranha movie ever made. From what I have gathered, he's probably right. However, Lance Henriksen, he's looked at as being this guy who's kind of brought over. He's in his his Theodore, his repertoire characters, right? He's got his actors who reappear in films. Arnold Schwarzenegger being one, but Lance Henriksen being one also. Lance Henriksen's looked at as, hey, you're up for the Terminator. You could be a guy who kind of blends in. You could be anybody. You look like an average guy. But then he comes across Arnold Schwarzenegger, who seems more fitting for the role. He's a guy who understood the character and how mechanical it needed to be. The foreign accent maybe even helped. Arnold pulls off being a Terminator so much better than anybody that was trying to copy him. And it's astonishing for the 80s and 90s how many movies tried to rip this off to the point that it was like Star Wars. There were so many things trying to be Star Wars, so many things trying to be E.T., and so many things trying to be the Terminator. When it came to low-budget action, everything was trying to be the Terminator, and Terminator 2. And with that, a lot of bad Arnold impressions. So, with that said, Lance Henriksen then goes on to become a robot of his own, right? He's largely known as Bishop in Aliens. All right, Taylor, but don't say anything. Don't say anything too creepy. Don't give her I'm from your future. I'm here to help you. What kind of shoes is she wearing? I'm not really sure. That kind of a boot thing. It was definitely a high top, at least. You've got me burning. Tech noir. Oh no, this is photoplay. This point. Everybody's got a punk look. It's a weird thing. You got like a punk look, but you have a different theme going in the place. You got the new wave, It's like, just all comers. Does Sarah fit in? Hard to tell. Had to pay some entry fee here. Look at the dancing going on here. When the Terminator shows up and draws the gun, there's a guy dancing in the background that just looks so goofy. You just can't unsee it, I swear. Okay, so now she wants to outreach the cops. Are are these plots that would not work in a day with quality cell phones? Yeah, you look at a movie. There are movies actually that rely totally on people not being able to find their friends, like Foxes. Like shit, no one's going to go missing in that movie if anybody had an iPhone. It's hard to write a movie for today because everybody sits around and does nothing all day long, and people don't have jobs, right? All right, now we got intimacy playing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Intimacy. Intimacy. She has like a. Is that like a purse like strap for her Walkman? Did they come with that? I never actually had a Sony Walkman. I always had like some kind of off brand type thing. I think from Walmart. Gosh, Pugsley's gotten enough screen time by now. You'd think he almost had like a role in the movie. Like something big would come of it. This guy's a little exhausted. The Terminators come in. Punches through the pillow. How? Like, have you punched a pillow before? I'm gonna bust you up, man. No, you're not. I like the stripes on his underwear. Jeez, look at the food she has put together. Screaming. Now that music right there, this is a horror-like, isn't it? We got the strings going. This movie is like a sci-fi horror creature movie. With the ending is just this big creature chase. Listen to this. This is horror type. Look at the visuals here. The slow motion. We're crawling on the ground, helpless. We've got the killer, the shape, Jason, Terminator. But Terminator never really gets put in with that. And I think it's because of the strong sci-fi vibe, the emphasis on time travel in the films, and other situations, especially the second movie completely going away from the horror aspect and making a more of an action sci-fi. Hey, it's Sarah. I'm leaving you a message for the Terminator. Come get me at this place, Tech Noir. Tech Noir, Tech Noir. I've heard it both ways, as Burton Guster would say, right? Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. There's actually a CD out there of the score for this film, where you get all of the Brad Fiedel stuff. You could also find all the songs, from the soundtrack. But there seems to be a difference between, you bought the soundtrack or you bought the score for a film. Finally getting in touch with the cops. Yeah, it's a public place. You'll be safe. Take my word for it, I'm a cop. Public place is not so safe anymore. You've got me burning. Arnold's like, what? That cover? No. Your hand's broken. Piss off. That's what you do when you don't want to pay cover, guys. You just snap. Anybody else want some? No, they don't pay me enough to put up with this. Got this lamp at her table. Now watch the way how they narrowly miss. The slow motion here. Look at the guy with the thumbs up. He's dancing like Elaine Bennis on the left over there. The guy with the half bald hair thing going. Yeah. Really into this. You know, just little serendipity there. Just ducked out of the way. Hey, wait, who's this guy over here? Have I seen that guy following me? I like that reflection in the mirror. This scene is so poppin', guys. This scene was really highlighted by Ebert and Siskel and Ebert when they reviewed this back in the day. As like, look, there's a lot of crummy action films coming around, but this one has a certain art to it. Now, a lot of action these days, it's like, oh hey, the action has happened. I guess we have to go to slow motion, right? So that everybody can see how cool the action is. James Cameron has says that he would rather have slow motion lead up to the action. I kind of have to agree. Boom, boom, boom. Now, I don't think this is the original mono soundtrack. There's a different shotgun sound in different versions of this. The stereo mix, the 5.1. If you didn't hear them back to back, you wouldn't notice so much, but the original mono, it sounds like a cannon for a shotgun. Some people fleeing. Let's just shoot all of them. Look at the jerkiness of the Terminator. I like that. Efficiency. Crawling away, forget about this person. Kink. Okay, I guess, yeah, this is definitely not the mono. The mono didn't have that clink kind of hit on the metal there. You know, original mono soundtrack, that's part of the caveat of having a lower budget back then. You know, you see a lot of independent film back then in black and white. You don't anymore because there's no cost difference between video being in color or black and white. Though I'll tell you this, you spend a lot of time working on color correction these days. So there is some kind of cost in there because time is money. The first look at the Terminator Vision. How he can see shit, I don't know. I guess he has some night vision here. You know, for practical purposes, it could be harder for them to see running down that. Look at that explosion. Jesus. Bigger than any explosion in Marvel films. He's jumped on the car and he has a haircut. So the idea is that his hair got singed and it burned off his eyebrows. So he has a weird look as far as eyebrows for the rest of the movie. Lucky enough they were able to shake him off. This is William Wisher, co-writer of the script. So he's playing a cop. And he would have a small little cameo in Terminator 2 where he's the guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger falls down at the Galleria and he's like snapping a bunch of cameras as he's on the ground kind of like in disbelief. Boom, crunch, clank. Takes his gun. But also here, this is the first instance where you get the Terminator's voice mimic because he gets on the radio and he talks as that guy. Just came across him, does an impression of him. Sarah Connor here's not so sure what to believe. But you know, the guy gave me the "come with me if you want to live." I guess I'm with you so far. Still alive. I want out of here. He's not coming across as desperate. He's pushy. Don't make a sound less, I say. You understand? Yell, do you understand? Don't come across as desperate, guys. Wait for her to need rescuing and assert your authority. That's how you do it. He doesn't have money. The guy is dressed up literally like a homeless bum, and he gets the girl. How often does that happen in a movie? If a guy's going to be a homeless bum in a movie and get the girl, it's because he eventually became a billionaire, or he was secretly a homeless bum, but not really. See, there we go. In Cop's voice. I didn't do anything. No, but you will. It's very important that you live. Action with exposition. You know, you don't get boring bits in this movie. This is a relentless, tight script. Oh, well, Harlan Ellison says that you ripped him off. No, we'll have to include it on at the end credits in the video version. What a load of bullshit. I mean, maybe briefly at the very beginning, there's a shot that looks similar to how his Outer Limits episode starts. You have some, and then some creatures go back in time. Totally different events occur. Certainly different style. Not the same things at stake. We got a nice little bit of crashes right here. You know, we're keeping the cops off of us. And then back into them just for good measure. Hubcaps fly everywhere in the 80s. It's like if a car makes a turn at above 20 miles per hour, that hubcap is flying off. All right, now that we got rid of them, I'll tell you a little bit more about this thing after you. Pay attention. I'm not so sure how he knows how to follow traffic laws. We cannot make things like that yet. Not yet. Are you saying one possible future? I don't know how this stuff works. I like that explanation. The characters are not wizards and shit. The characters are not the writer. The characters don't know how this stuff works. It makes sense. Sometimes the less you explain time travel, the better off you are. If you think you can come up with rules and there's flaws in them, you're going to get a very flawed screenplay. Bargain with. It can't be reasoned with. How romantic was that line, though? Terminators don't feel pain. I do. Oh, I like this part. With these weapons, I don't know. With these weapons, I don't know. You know, it's easy in the future when you have the phased plasma rifle and the 40-watt range, right? Cops are like, well, we had a lot of shit go down here. A lot of whip turning around. Also pull that off in the motorcycle later in the film to really cool effect. That was more of he was stationary when he started, but it was sweet. All right, we're gonna steal another car. Just chill out. Stealing cars in the 80s a lot easier than it is today.
Now she's asking the important questions, right?
He's laying on this thick exposition in a way that's really captivating enough, and there's enough excitement going on that we don't need some kind of weird flash forward showing it. That would have just dulled it. And of course, it would have looked like crap today. Delivering the message that you let the computer run everything and it turns against the people. Is this the correct procedure for hot wiring a car? Not so fast. They've got flashlights. HKs? I gotta wonder now, as said in the movie, is the HK the tank or the flying thing? Because I think that both of them could go by HK. I do wonder though, what what do the machines have to do for keeping people alive to work to dispose bodies? Because bodies rotting on them and stuff isn't really a concern for machines, is it? They don't get diseases from it. So since they had these work camps because they thought, hey, that worked so well for the Nazis, let's emulate that. And then a guy comes along, frees these people, and has this resistance built up for them. Leads them in a fight which they're about to win. So Skynet sends the Terminator back to try to hit the reset button. Spotted ya. Now, what is about to happen doesn't make a ton of sense as far as realism goes. Okay, so we have a chase. We're in a parking lot. Nice little shootout here. Shotgun to shotgun. Alright, sticks him there. Moves back. Still in pursuit. Out the other end. We're probably about to lose some more hubcaps. See, they kind of sped the footage up over there. Road Warrior style. Make this a high speed chase. I don't think this is some of the stronger music. The boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it certainly dates the film as that goes. You drive, I'm shooting. Okay, can you not turn, lady? All right, so here's the surprising thing. He gets in the wreck. The Terminator is in a wreck, right? The cops are here. Car's not moving. They're stuck. They're going to get arrested. They'll kill you. Oh, wait, I needed her to tell me. I mean, I guess, how does he even know how police operate, right? They're on the car, but look, if the Terminator got out of that car and started attacking them now, what are these cops going to do about it? And where the hell did he go? That's one of the things that makes this very Michael Myers-esque. Oh, look, something happened. Maybe he died. He disappeared. I guess he ran off to go collect himself. Now he's got to make another go at it. I mean, it's one thing to have to go find them again, right? You were right there with them. Jump out and attack them while they're in the car. First appearance of Dr. Silverman. Yeah, I got some bad news. Ginger's dead. Earl Bowen, right? I think he's still alive. Well, that's what we're going to find out. And then later on, she says, he says, yeah, he's a loon. All right, so, and this is kind of bizarre to think that the Terminator even needs a base of operations. It surely doesn't need to sleep or eat, right? So why have an apartment? Maybe it came in there and was like, hello, I would like to lease an apartment for a week. All right, well, it'll be first and last deposit. I lied. And then, like, well, how did that interaction go down? Because the cops would be all over that if he killed the guy, right? I think this is a pretty decent looking effect here. I've seen some shitty top 10 list crap crap series on YouTube talking about bad practical effects and calling the Terminator a bad example. And they'll have these shit lists where it's like, oh yeah, best effects, this scene, and then best effects, this movie, then best effects, a whole trilogy or series. And it's like, how do you come to these stupid conclusions? What constitutes an effect then? I thought we were looking for a list of effects, not entire franchises. That looks pretty good. That looks like as good of a robotic hand surgery, arm surgery, whatever, that you could have seen at the time. Like maybe part of the hand didn't look quite like skin. Barely. Hold on, I'm getting a page here in the middle of you telling me the most important shit in the world. I see. Hold on, I've got a cigarette here. Everybody does. It's 1984. Kyle Reese's shirt is very odd. It's kind of got this weird square collar. I couldn't duplicate it, but I found something very similar as far as the stripes go at Old Navy for like $10. So that was my cosplay. that when you captured the lab complex, the, what'd you call it? Time displacement equipment. These psychiatrist guys, they always want to talk to you like they believe you, and they don't, you know? If there were a set of movies, particularly Terminator 2, to get you to not like psychiatrists, oh boy. And me. More surgery, more inner workings of the robot. Look at the biceps. I seem to have an eye problem. I'm going to have to cut this eye out. Oh, you know what? That doesn't look that bad. I mean, it doesn't quite look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that shot with the eye. And they edit a lot of this out on TV, or at least they used to. That you could see some blood drop in the water, but you never saw the eyeball get pulled out or the eyeball drop. All right, pat that with the towel, and this is synthetic. This is not Arnold. Okay, maybe the movement's not quite right, but keep in mind, this is a cyborg. This is a robot. There's some leeway here in robotic movement. Now we got the gargoyle shades. Doesn't use gargoyles in the next film. However, Dale Earnhardt Sr. wore gargoyles, much like these. So there you go, as far as sunglasses go. Yeah, I don't really sleep on the bed, so I just kind of put guns under them in case somebody comes in here. You know, I don't want any kids, getting hurt with the guns, so got to keep them safe. And screw doors. I guess I got to go out there and go hunting again, right? Now, I'm not going to find out where she is, like what precinct she went to. I'm just going to walk around town with guns and just shoot anybody that kind of has that haircut. That's going to get taken out of context. Tell me about the time travel thing. You go naked. There's something about a field generated by body, only flesh go through. I couldn't bring any weapons. Yeah, I love that. Something about this. It's like if Marty McFly had to explain how the flux capacitor worked to the people in 1955. This guy's talking about how he can make a fortune off this guy's story, which is totally what you want to tell people. I kind of see some sense there in records being lost in the war, right? I can kind of buy that. You have heard enough. Will Ferrell would have loved this role, right? We got to keep our composure. You still don't get it, do we? He'll find her. That's what he does. Gosh. Watch the way how, and this just occurred to me, Kyle Reese is making this plea into the monitor like that, and you have people watching it. Sarah Connor does the same thing in Terminator 2. It's this by talking to the monitor like that. It's like this plea to the audience. You gotta help this character out. Get behind this character. When he shot him, he could have had this bulletproof vest. He could have been on PCP. Would have broke every bone in his hand or put punching through the windshield, but yeah, it could be done. There's a couch over in this room. Now, it doesn't look like much, but yeah, it's actually pretty comfortable. Your mom's in Big Bear. We'll try to get a hold of her. So evidently, the Terminator, as he appears in the cabin, I'm assuming killed Sarah Connor's mom and is impersonating her voice. Ends up going there, but now But he found this precinct pretty easily. Like, he knows. Did he bounce around to a few different cop outfits in Los Angeles? Nah, she's making a statement, which means she's here. I like the look and observe. I like this. The why look up like that? Now, a human wouldn't look up and around, but a robot might. I'll be back. The line that made Arnold Schwarzenegger's career. I'll be back. And it's said to have been other things. Like, I think as Arnold turned it into I'll be back because something else was too complicated. I'll be coming back. I'll be. I will be coming back. You know, something like that didn't work as well. Crunch. What was that? And it is time to go with the guns. No one holds a shotgun like this. And that's what makes it so good because robot, right? There is at least one female cop that gets gunned down. Yeah, there's one there. This going into a building and indiscriminately shooting people up, I don't think you can do that in a movie now because it happens a little too often. Shoots through the wall, tracks the guy through the wall. Here, female cop, we need more ammo, move it. Takes out the power. Kind of a clink, clink, kind of little react to some fire there. Take that out, jab it in that, and that should kill the lights. We're under siege. It's assault on Precinct 13, except I think in that movie they called it Precinct 9, and somehow it got changed to 13 in the title because 13 they thought was a catchier number. Unlucky, right? Boom, shooting through the place. And then you get this awesome shot. It's like it shows the ground and it pans up from the feet as the Terminator's walking. It's just awesome. Great shot for the trailer. The original trailer, the teaser called this movie Terminator. And then it begrudgingly, I think Orion made them put the on it, make it into the Terminator. Blowing people away. The cops aim for the chest. That's the problem. Look at that shot right there. Whoa, walks over the body. Just look how badass I am. I don't see a Sarah Connor yet. I'm going to keep shooting. There's Paul Winfield. Yeah, he appears to be going down. Ed, hey. And we're thinking it's not working out so well for Bishop. Now, I'm actually pals with a guy who worked on this movie under the tutelage of Stan Winston. His effects company, he did a film with Lance Henriksen. And he also, I think, oversaw the It remakes effects and stuff. So, yeah, very, very well known for the practical effects. And, you know, he told me, I asked him, like, how is it that these applications and things look so much more realistic now when you're doing them over the past? And it's just, you know, practice and learning and refining the techniques that were taught to him through Stan Winston. I do like the music here. Not bad. Now he can miss. Oh, that's a shame. Out of ammo. Well, I say a shame, but, you know, it's just him running out of ammo just saved the world. But where did Arnold get that get up? Because he had the punk's clothes, right? He had the like a jean jacket thing, and then all of a sudden he goes into the police station. He's got a leather jacket. Where did he acquire this? Now we're ditching another car. Just push it off the road. Also worth noting, Kyle Reese had a green trench coat, and now he has a much smaller black trench coat. You can see it's well above the knees. Hey, let me tell you a little story here. You're cold? Alright, wait till she's cold before you put her arm around her. Yeah, that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. So, Reese, what's your name? Kyle. Wait for her to ask you. Don't give her this. My name's Kyle Reese. I'm from the future. I'm here to save you. You gotta believe me before this guy attacks you. I guess it got shot. No, it's not bad. Yeah, I get shot sometimes. So what? First aid kit. Has some ever been titled as bad? It's first aid. It's not all the aid you need. There's a clue. Tell me about my son. Well, he's about my height. You're describing her son in terms of you. Hint, hint. I'd die for John Connor. Well, yeah, you would. You end up doing so. Well, at least I know what to name him, right? I don't want to know how I know he dies before the war. I don't know how he could know that he dies before the war's over unless he died before he went back. The only thing he could know is what was privy to him before he went back. Drive me crazy, anger. What is her shirt? Is that tie-dyed with one color? I can't even balance my checkbook, right? I just kind of wish they'd given her a different haircut, right? But you couldn't have known that back then, right? Yeah, well, your son told me to give you a message, maybe memorize it. The future is not set. Later in Terminator 2, that kind of gets changed to the future is not set. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. Kyle Reese does not give her the no fate talk. So when John Connor comes across it in Terminator 2, as she has carved no fate into this wood, it must have been something she came up with later with the kind of that got kickstarted off of what Kyle Reese had told her. Tell me about your life in the future. Oh, well, let me tell you how glamorous this is. Well, you can't go outside because everything wants to kill you. We go outside at night, and that's it. We get another look at this. Just dust and ash. You know, it's not Terminator Vision, but it's fairly similar from that scope, isn't it? Just with more color. We had the same kind of weird graphics pop up. And then it is in this uniform where a production still gets kind of altered around, and Konami uses that for the cover art on the original Metal Gear from 1987. I think that is also used on the NES version. Now, I'm not saying they have snazzy uniforms, but they have uniforms. How? I guess in some cases here, it's, largely whatever they were able to pick up from any kind of military outfit that had been around, right? Even if they tried today, you couldn't get the same emotion out of a scene like this because today's movie efforts are so polished with the visuals. They look brighter and less grim than reality. Look at these people surrounded by the TV and it's just burning flame. And you got the woman crying. You got these guys happy they found a rat. You got to wonder how anybody could eat anything because there's no way to grow any crops. No quarters, just kind of hallway. He has a picture of Sarah Connor, evidently given to him by Kyle Reese. The dogs are barking. This is Franco Columbu, one of Arnold's best friends. Was he a Mr. Universe? I think he was Mr. Universe at one point here. A short guy. I think he's like 5'4", but a bodybuilder. Really, really jacked guy. I think eventually shoots those dogs that are barking. There we go. Not sure what kind of gun he's got, but it looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? So he's infiltrated this area. Blasting the place up. Evidently something must happen at some point to his face because he ends up getting the eye reveal. There we go. And you can kind of see that it's goggles put over him to give him the eyes. Just kind of sharing a memory with her. How romantic's that? Now that she trusts me, I can kind of stroke her hair a little bit. Dreaming about dogs and the Terminators. It's a pretty terrifying world. Yeah, I tried to warn you. Just kind of walk over here, got my hand bandaged up a little bit, and there we go. You want to wear my jacket? You can. Until we get off this bus we're going to get on and all that. This scene is pretty much cut out of TV versions. I didn't even see this scene until I got this movie on DVD. This guy, like landlord over here, or janitor, I guess, really hairy. Like, if you're that hairy, can you please wear a shirt? Hey, buddy, you got dead cat in there? Going through some lines that he's picked up. So this is the learning of the Terminator here. Now, what's the smell? Is his flesh rotting off? Is that the idea? Would it make that big of a smell? Wait, I don't know. All right, but look, you got this guy walking through your hallway like that. I guess you just kind of get out of the way. No, they didn't get on a bus. They just jumped out of a truck. The Tiki Motel. The Tiki Motel was in operation until, I think, 2 years ago. Was it 2014 or 2016 that it went under? So, yeah, you could actually revisit the Tiki Hotel. Or motel. Is it motel, hotel? And the only real difference was that they painted something, like they had a red sign, now it's blue. And now I think it's under, maybe it's closed, maybe it's demolished, turned into something else. But yeah, if you wanted to revisit scenes from the Terminator, it was there. You probably could have stayed in that room too. And it may not have been all that much different. Oh, hey, I guess I should give you a gun. Yeah, it might do something. I'm going to go shopping for groceries. That truck he just walked by was a lot like the like Erdl toy truck the kid had out in the street that got crushed by the car. Similar paint job. Calls mom, I can't tell you where I am. No one's telling me what's going on. I'm worried sick, dear. All right, I'll tell you where I am. Here's my number. Okay, look around the cabin. The door has been shot up. I'm guessing shot the lady through the door. I love you too, sweetheart. Click. I don't know. My mom ever talk like that? That's kind of weird. Kind of look she's giving. Tiki Motel, give me your address there. Okay. Yeah, if somebody calls and asks like that, do you want them showing up? Corn syrup, ammonia. What's for dinner? Plastique. That sounds good. It's explosive. Oh, so we're not having food. Okay. They don't do a lot of eating in this movie. Now with motorcycle, right? Where's that kind of dirt bike? You know, it's a bit narrow tired. I guess it works okay for the Terminator. You just assume that he has no problem stealing anything he wants. All right, I'm trying to show you how to make some explosives. Don't screw it up. Oh, we're about to hook up. Now, why are you just looking out the window? This isn't going to be over, huh? I mean, they're wondering, like, hey, are they just going to send something else back in time? Would We got to get this thing, right? They're not really fleeing to Mexico here. I think there's a scene cut prior to this where he has told her about Cyberdyne systems. They make Skynet and the Terminator and all this stuff, and she looks them up in a phone book, and there were some plans. Hey, why don't we just go after Cyberdyne? Stop this from happening. And that's the thing that helps make Terminator 2 so unique in the way it takes this plot. Had all of this stayed in the film, that would have been to the detriment of a sequel. And of course, where the machine is destroyed at the end, there is a shot at the end that peels back and shows that it's Cyberdyne systems. Not shown in this film. But it's a great way, and probably wisely cut, so that if there was a follow-up, you had another thing to go. Oh, hey, look, yeah, that machine place? Well, it turned out that because it was crunched up there, it gave them the jump start in the computer race, right? Turned things around for that company to some degree. It was wise to cut all that because it made it so that you can say, look, there's more layers to this story. You don't want to use all of your goods in your first entry. Now she's looking over his cigars and what was I like? And you have a picture of me and stuff. Yeah, I did. Of course, by the end of the film, we see what the picture was of, or how that picture came to be. I came across time for you. This is the most romantic movie character ever. He came across time for this gal. He waited for the guy to try to kill her before he moved in. He asserted his authority. He did everything right. This is the way guys should be. He didn't hook up with some chick prior to Sarah Connor. She's not getting some freaky future sloppy seconds. John Connor needed to send a guy back to hook up with his mom and save her. Now, this, as weird as this is, now it gets romantic, doesn't it? Now we got this like slow piano version of the Terminator theme. And it works, doesn't it? It's like now it's gotten romantic. Women liked this movie. This was a big hit with the ladies. The ladies felt like it was romantic, like Outlander in a way. Like, oh look, you got this guy. He'd do anything for this chick. I want to be like Sarah Connor. Guy goes back in time to save you, be with you, and all this. Yeah, sure, go for it. So you have this weird love story romance thing going, just in the middle of your creature chase horror type film with some sci-fi. But it fits because it's important that this lady has a baby. And the characters don't know it right here, but this is how it went down. They don't know until it's too late. Oh, look, they're in a good mood, and now stuff's going bad. The dogs are barking. That honeymoon didn't last long, huh? Hey, dude walking with the guns. I'm going to just slide over here and stay next to my truck. Okay, cool. Dun 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 dun. Boom 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 boom. Dog is still chained up. Okay, time to get him. I like the peel out here. turn and peel with the camera going up. There you... Oh, geez. That's cool. It looks a little cooler in Terminator 2. Slightly bigger budget. You know, it's so weird to think that they have all the sex in those kind of like teen-like horror films, and the people who hook up die. Doesn't happen here necessarily. But you know, if you're going to have a sex scene in a movie, at least there's more justification to it in the plot here. About as justified as ever there was, right? Go through this tunnel, the Blade Runner tunnel. I think it's still there in Los Angeles, but the lights are different now. There's, I think, a walkway on the side that's kind of ruined it. Cool looking tunnel. That tunnel was also shown in Heat, which I watched not long ago. Talked about. Nobody watched that review. Nice little explosions here. Kind of wondering how often they had to drive through this tunnel to get this stuff done. Plastique looks pretty potent, but it's not knocking him off the bike. Oh, I got shot. Yeah, you're going to have to do some work, Sarah. Oh, no. You can see some red under his shades. I think it's light reflected off, or is it supposed to be the Terminator eyes going through the shades? Look at the car flip. Not bad. The Terminator skids across the floor. Road, floor, whatever. There's people in the car that flipped. Honk, honk. And then looks up real quick. The Terminator without the eyebrows just kind of looks perpetually surprised. Okay, now if you look at the way the applications work as far as the makeup goes, there's a lot of different stages to the Terminator. So sunglasses off obviously poses a certain problem. You have to add a layer that's supposed to be underneath him. And so you have the kind of like bugged-eyed, the light sticking out further than the eye would be, even though the eye is supposed to be behind the light. Well, the light's behind the eye, but now that light's protruding. In the quick glimpses you get a look at it, it's not bad. So this guy just quickly sees, wait, what's this? Get out. Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. And they can't move the eye around while it's on Arnold, so they kind of just give him one that's cocked to the side so you can look at the guy and say, get out. Then the next shot, give him front forward facing lens, right? So now we have gotten into our truck. Yeah, different paint jobs in that Ertl one, right? Oh, pull, pull, pull. Go, get out. Dang, like that. It just a little thing like a semi-truck running across a downed pickup is cool and exciting, isn't it? Because they don't even bother with that shit these days. Hey, how can we CGI this? It's almost like they're going out of their way to make effects. Don't stop, run. How fast could she be? I know this thing has to get up to speed, right? And it's making some turns. Like, I guess she could, in the short run, give this a go, right? Wouldn't it be long past where Reese was, though, for him to stick that in the pipe? Probably. This explosion over here is a miniature with the rear projection, and it looks so good. It doesn't really look fake. Oh, the fuse. Boom. That honestly, that looks better than today's stuff. Today's would have looked like more of an obvious composite, an obvious green screen, an obvious let's not bother going outside, an obvious let's not use an actual damn street. Oh look, we have real fire in a movie. Who would have thought that we could have fire in a movie? All right, so the Terminator has hopped out. It's on fire. We haven't seen it on fire. Can fire take it down? It's falling down, and oh yeah, it looks like the fire got it. We had a big explosion. It's burning. When Michael Myers burns like this, Michael Myers is done. It looks like it's over for the Terminator. Yep. The skin's melting away. He's given up on life. He's checking out like a demeked baby diva, waving hello as Hammond blasts her in the face. And yep, it's all skull and whatever's left there. Yep, it's over. It's been a hard fought battle for Sarah Connor, right? All right, gotta go find Reese. Everything looks okay over here. All right, you okay, Kyle? Yay! It's gonna be a happy ending after all, guys. Kyle's okay. See, there he is. He's yelling Sarah. It's fine. We got the end music. It was a triumphant, climactic explosion, chase, everything. We did everything right. We did it, Kyle. Not so fast. Because out of the ashes, now you have to deal with the skeleton. I wouldn't say that the creature has evolved, but now we have the final form, right? And what a bang-up job Stan Winston did here. This thing, the design, impeccable. The stop-motion effects are not that bad. Like, we're dealing with something that's robotic, right? You have to give some kind of leeway for that. It's not a creature that exists today. And when you see robotics from, like, what is it, Boston Robotics, whatever, when you see those things in action, they move with this jerkiness that it looks like a CGI. It looks like a Terminator thing, right? I don't think this looks that bad. Yeah, okay, so compositing effects back then had some issues. It's a little murky. So what? Yeah, okay. Now we have obvious, like, they got blue screen over here. You can see her hair looks a little odd. They could clean that up some today, right? But I don't think the Library of Congress is going to, have that so much. Turn on the machines for distraction. Cover so he can't track us, because he doesn't have infrared, evidently. For some of these machine close-ups, they just kind of put the Terminator, like, upper torso head on the shoulders of somebody, have him walk around with them. It looks great. Now, if you look closely, and you don't get a lot of good looks at it, but I think the teeth here are different than what most people mock up their Terminator T-800s to look like. The T-800s, whether they have skin on them or not, have human teeth. Yellowish human teeth, and so they kind of look like they're locked at a grin at times. I think in this movie, it's been said that they're metallic, that they have metal teeth, but I'm not seeing it. Is that metal or is it human? I mean, we don't seem to have a great defining look, and there's also, this dim kind of bluish atmosphere lightning here. They look like metal teeth painted to be enamel in a way. That's kind of the look I'm getting. But they're definitely closer to like a porcelain human denture type thing in Terminator 2 And when you see Terminators for sale or whatever, or some kind of kit, they're always done up that way. All right, I'm gonna grab this pole over here. That was just somebody had some scrap metal. Let's make our way up the stairs, and oh, here he is. That is a scary looking thing. Even though you could say, look, it's locked in on this grin, right? It doesn't look like it has some nice intentions for him. The T-800 naked form also seems really tall, doesn't it? Like taller than Arnold Schwarzenegger. See, there it is on somebody's shoulder. She doesn't want to back away. She's getting tougher by the minute, guys. This is character growth. You don't get it today. You get it jammed down your neck, if anything. All right, you give it a good few swings there, and now it's like it's my turn. Slap, slap. The music kind of changing here. All right, sacrifice time. Stick that in there. I'm going to roll down the stairs, see if that works for me. Shrapnel galore, the Terminator no more, right? Well, that's the thing with the Terminator. It's like you think it's over, but it's not. He's got another trick up his sleeve. She's wounded. All right, get tough, Sarah. Oh, she's wearing some Adidas shoes now. Those are not the same thing she walked into Tech Noir with. Ooh, you might want to get a tetanus shot. Terminator limb over there. We're crawling along. Hey, Kyle, you gonna be okay? You're okay after that last explosion. Okay, maybe not now. Sorry. Now we don't have a happy ending. Oh no, the Terminator torso's still there. Creature, scary horror film. 80s horror like. We got the screechy music here. It's got some hands and she can't run, so I guess it does pose quite a threat to her. It could still choke her out, do some bad shit, I'm assuming. Crawling along. Yeah, this is the kind of scene that, like, you got a girl in the theater with you and she's kind of crawling out of her seat trying to get away. Kind of maybe leaning a little closer to you. Protect me. Get on the conveyor belt. Does she know what this machine is as she crawls through it? I mean, I'm assuming she thinks it's a press. You can't tell from the side so much. Maybe when you're going through it, you don't notice. Hey, I'll get it to follow me through here. Okay. I kind of want to hope this thing isn't going to come down any second. Oh, look how good that robot looks climbing through there. Bang up job, Stan Winston. The T-800s are made out of plastic. It's a resin that they cast all this stuff out and they paint them up metallic. There are no metal aluminum Terminators. It's reaching. You're terminated. Bleep. On TV, you get the "you're terminated." That lightning, I believe they have to hand draw that in. Yeah, I realize it's not 3D lightning. It's not going in and out of stuff so much, but it looks fine to me. I like the way it looks, so sue me. The light's diminished. It's gone. But did you crunch them enough? Did you ruin the chip? Maybe not enough. The arm's still there. Huh? You didn't dispose of the arm. You learn your lesson in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Alright, they take her off in the ambulance. The body bag is James Cameron's camera bag. I guess they couldn't fit him in something that would zip up the way they wanted. And here's where they don't pan up and show that this is Cyberdyne Systems. Just cut black right there. And now we've got a fade out. I think that the cut to black and then fade is used too much in movies today. As an end coda type thing for a film, it's more appropriate. Like, look, this is some indeterminate time later. She's getting stuff together. She's making some tape. She's prepping to make her son into what he needs to be. You can see she's got a little bit of a pregnant belly here. Keeping guns on her. She has a guard dog. She has a Jeep. Hanging out by the border, right? Of course, the Jeep Renegade now is a wuss car. And I like the hustle on the kid, too, as I mentioned. Coming up here we go. Reading from Phrase book. Fill her up, okay. Recording on tape. So much tape recording in this. Recording this on tape. We've got Ginger listening to tapes. Answering machine has tapes. Do we have tapes anymore? Nope. She never saw the photo that Reese had, and yet here it comes. Yeah, I would say Polaroid, but it said Kodak on the camera. Hey, I took your picture. My father's going to beat me if I don't charge you this much. He's ashamed to ask $5 American for that photo. $5 today for that picture is obscene. 1984, that'd be like throwing... God... Like, that's like a meal for a family at McDonald's. Hey, there's a storm coming. I don't think this makes a lot of sense. There's a storm coming. I know. She's of course talking of a different storm, but would she need to say that to the guy? It sounds cool, right? The Jeep takes off. We have a matte painting of some mountains there, but I don't mind it. Acknowledgement of the works, my ass. The guy's basically a patent troll of copyright material. Hey, you just come up with enough stories. Everybody stole something from you, right? Yeah, there's certainly better cases for theft out there. Look at Stranger Things, where you rip off enough shit from enough different people, and it's homage. So there you go, my thoughts on the Terminator. How'd you guys like this movie? I'm thinking you liked it quite a bit, right? I had a review I did of this at night a couple years back. Nobody watched it. But, it seems like commentary tracks are the way to go on YouTube. I hope to give you guys more of these. So until next time, signing off, Von Fry, over and out, whatever.